So it's basically working with your own immune system to help attack the cancer cells. So it's literally targeting each individual cancer cell. It's working with your immune system.
Okay.
Chemotherapy basically goes in and obliterates every cell, including good and bad. But that's the difference between the immunotherapy and the chemotherapy. Okay. So I'll go have Ashton gather up the pre-medications, which is the Benadryl and all that fun stuff.
I already got that.
Oh, she already did?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
I
then,
got the nausea medicine, the Benadryl, the 3 steroid pills. Yep.
Perfect. Would you want to use the restroom before we start this lovely stuff? Okay.
Yes.
And I know Matthew's here also.
You take care of you. I can be patient. So.
Okay.
Yes. So restroom's right there.
Okay.
You are more than welcome to get up and walk around. Okay. Just have to unplug and take this lovely pole with you.
Okay.
There's a battery pack on here, so you do not have to worry about it shutting off or anything. Okay, dear?
Okay.
Least of your worries.
I just don't want to
Feel
get
steady.
on something. Yeah.
And right there. Inside the restroom is a blue cord. If you need any assistance, just pull that.
Nice to meet you. How we doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing the best we could. We got a lot of stuff going on.
That was Melissa and Ashton. They had called me and they kind of gave me the rundown, and a lot of stuff I think is it sounds like an understatement.
Yeah. I mean, we got and then she went to work for her, and that was life changing. And then the boys went. I got 2 boys in the Air Force. They've been there about 5 years.
Yeah.
And we only see them about once a year, but they're getting ready to go to, one's going to go to Korea and one's going to go to either like Iraq or Qatar. You don't know yet. But, and then my mom's been in, we live on the same farm, different houses, but she's got dementia. So she's at home, in a hospice, in home now, but my dad don't want to send her away, so she's there. We're trying to take care of her. I got my sister helping out some, but. And then about a year ago, my grandma, the person taking her got sick, so we didn't want to. They wanted to dump her, so we made an apartment in the basement real quick. So we got my grandma. She's 96, so like yesterday, grandma made a mess and she had to take care of her. I'm running back and forth. My dad's a mess. My dad's got both shoulders blown out, both knees, hearts, AFib, and everything. He's like half blind. He's got he's got so much going for him. But we're trying to keep my mom because my mom was global research at P&Z. Now she's pretty much bedroom now.
Yeah.
But I mean, we try to move her from the bed to that chair in the living room. But I tell Dad somebody's gonna get hurt doing that. But then this happened 2 weeks ago.
Holy cow.
Because we walk a lot, we hike, and all of a sudden this happened 2 weeks ago. Like, guess what?
Right.
I'm just like, throw that in the bowl.
Holy.
Because I thought when we went there, I thought I was just gonna come back some cyst or something, and I'm like speechless, and I'm just thinking, what the hell else could happen?
So let's do the bullet point list here, right? Make sure you get all settled. You are. Yeah, that's fine.
That's Christine. This is Matthew.
It's very
My
nice
hands
to
are
meet
just
you.
washed.
It's quite all right. So
It's not pee or anything.
For your knowledge, battery packet's on there.
Yeah.
If you didn't plug it in, the battery got low, it would beep. The nurses would just come and plug it back in. So
Okay.
It
So I
is,
don't have to plug it back in if I don't.
if you forgot, nothing bad would happen.
Okay.
It is as soon as you got back in, just plug it back in. It's just fine.
Okay.
So they would do it when they walked in anyway. So
Okay.
either way, that is one of about 1 million new things that you've learned here in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, there's a lot.
To say the least.
Yeah.
And one of the hardest things I think about any cancer diagnosis is the fact that the rest of your life doesn't stop.
Right.
And it sounds like almost everything else feels like it's picked up speed.
Yes.
So we've got your grandmother,
My mom.
your mom who's dementia, grandma who's living in the basement.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, and I know that sounds like bad, but she is spoiled. She's got French doors. She's like, it's like a little apartment.
My mother-in-law lives in our basement.
Okay, it just
So
sounds weird. It sounds bad, don't it?
It's,
It
you
sounds
know,
like when you say basement, you think
Like a
automatically
dungeon,
like a
but-
dungeon.
Damn old.
Yeah.
I got a full court basketball court and everything. Grandma was
Like in the movie It or
something.
something.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you're just
Yeah,
shut them in there and lock the
We had a
door.
fire pit. I mean, she had me. I mean, you know, we were out there all the time. I brought everything to her, you know.
Sure.
She had a little garden.
Yeah, I
This
brought the
summer.
bobcat and had a garden brought to her. I mean, she was planting sweet potatoes. I mean, yeah, she.
You all took care of a lot of people.
We're still taking care of a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then I work full time.
Now you said senior center.
Yeah.
Tell me about your job.
Florida for almost 8 years.
Okay.
And then I did another 8 years in Walton. That's like pretty much all I know. When senior services was still
Back. She went to
before
work,
they-
so she picked up the slack because I was down. Because she was taking care of the kids, and I wanted her to just take care of the kids when they were little.
Sure.
but we just swapped places.
Right.
Then it was his turn and my turn to go work.
Exactly. Make it work.
Yeah.
Right.
That's it.
So, kids,
Yep.
the younger two in the Air Force,
Yes.
and the older one.
The older one's married and lives about 15 miles from us.
Yeah.
That's because they're our little best friends. We love them. They love us. And my daughter-in-law, she's just like the daughter I never had. So, yeah. And that's why I call her my daughter-in-love, not
Right.
daughter-in-law.
Right.
And so she claims me as her second mom. So
I'm so glad that that's the relationship. Now, do they know? Kids all know.
everybody
about what's
knows
happening?
everything.
Okay.
Yep.
I know that's often one of the hardest conversations to just start having.
I like to be very transparent, and good thing he took care of it because I probably would have not said.
I tell everybody the truth straightforward too. I don't like telling them when they're that far away, you know what I mean? But they're tough. I mean, we've always raised everybody to be, straightforward.
Not sugarcoat anything. We're usually very forward.
Sure.
No sugarcoating. Just say what you mean what you say, and that's it. So, and they're kind of that way too.
So, the diagnosis about 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
How did that come about?
Well, I was helping my daughter-in-law build fencing for her dogs,
Okay.
and I started like pushing around the big round, like rolled up fencing, and so when I was taking a shower, I felt like a lump right there, and I thought, well, that might be from me, just pushing around the big
Right.
round, fencing.
Sure.
And then I started feeling again, and I had a fatty tumor on my shoulder
Okay.
that had been removed
Okay.
probably like years and years ago.
Gotcha.
And I remembered how that felt,
Gotcha.
and this felt different. So because it felt different, I thought, well, I better have it checked out. And my underarm had been starting to get, like the gland was getting swollen, but then it would go away, and then it would come back again, and then it would go away. So it was like back and forth.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, the tumor happened, and then that's it.
So, who is your oncologist?
It's Doctor.
I was trying to remember. Briefly
And
looked at
he
your
was
chart.
he was
Yeah,
he
like-
was just great.
He made us feel comfortable because we were kind of lost, and then everything sped up.
He was
'cause we
joking
wanted
around
something
with
done.
us. It was good. He was good.
Sure.
Because we just sitting there waiting, and it was going to be like after Christmas or New Year's until it get something done. And then as soon as he got involved, everything was quick.
And it's growing.
Yeah.
Like I could tell that it's way bigger than it was 2 weeks ago.
Really?
Yep. And it's sore, and it looks bruised. Even before I got the biopsies, it looked bruised. So
if you were to give one word to describe everything since the moment of your diagnosis, right? This is just these last 2 weeks, right? If you were to give one word to that, what would it be?
scary.
Right?
Scary. I'm like a person. Scary. I'm like a person. I'm like a person who's everybody depends on me. I usually am the rock. I'm like have everything planned. There's like usually I make sure everybody's got what they need,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden now, I'm the one, and it's hard for me to allow people to, be strong for me instead of me. And then I still find myself trying to be strong for other people and just not, like, if I have emotions, I usually don't do it in front of people. But here lately, I've been like big crybaby in front of everybody. So.
Does that scare you, or is that something different?
No, that scares me.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt.
That scares me.
What is it that scares you? Thank you very much.
I usually don't put chemicals and stuff in my body at all. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do any of that kind of stuff at all. I barely take, if I have a headache, I mean, it has to be a migraine for me to take anything. I've got, muscle relaxers if I have a migraine, all that stuff. But I don't take it just because, I know that sleep, there's a lot of things that I check before I would even take any of that.
Sure.
So I try not to put a lot of medicines in my body. I did recently get diagnosed with diabetes. So, and I was giving myself shots in the stomach, and I hated that. Hated it. So in my mind, I talked to God and, prayed on it for a couple days.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, diet and exercise.
Okay.
And that's what I like threw myself into that.
Okay.
And I lost a lot of weight, and now I don't have to take insulin, anything. I just check my sugars every once in a while. I watch what I eat. But here in this last 2 weeks,
Did you...
I started comfort eating.
That's pretty normal.
Is it? Okay, good. Because I'm like feeling guilty, like, oh my gosh.
Plus the holidays, that's what I told everybody puts on.
Everybody's
the
bringing me
holidays,
cookies and pies, and like, how are you going to tell somebody no after they cooked it?
It is within our culture, right?
Yeah.
We don't know what else to do.
You break bread.
Exactly. You make some food, and you're the recipient of all of that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Plus, soft serve is like my biggest weakness when I'm like stressed out.
Yeah.
You get me some soft serve swirl,
Yep.
and just for that moment of time when I'm eating my ice cream, all those problems are not there, and it's like a little. Maybe that's my drug.
That's right. That's a pretty
It's soft
magical
serve
thing, right?
chocolate and vanilla ice cream.
We all have the thing we will turn to.
Yeah,
Everybody
that's it.
got something, right?
Soft serve. That's probably the first time you ever heard of that.
It's I've heard worse.
I'd say.
So, yes, this is pretty scary.
Yes, it is.
How do you deal with the unknown?
Well, if it's life or death, I mean, I don't know. Because I've not done this before.
Sure.
Like I said, usually I'm like the one, and then I'm figuring out things. If there's a problem, I'm figuring out how to fix it. If somebody's sad, I'm figuring out what I can do to make it better.
Sure.
All that. But this, there's nothing I can do about it. And that's the scary part. I don't know if it's going to work, if it's not going to work, if I'm going to throw up, because I know that there's not 100% survival rate on it. I mean, really nothing can be, I don't think.
Nothing has a 100% survival rate. Because guess what? We're all going to die.
That's true. From the moment you're born.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, none of us know how that's going to work.
Right. And
But again,
I'm not afraid of passing away.
Sure.
I don't want to leave them.
Sure.
I know that's weird, but I believe in God.
Sure.
And I know that I will be in a way better place.
Sure.
But I don't want to leave my family behind.
Of course not.
That's the thing. It's not for me. It's for them.
Yeah, that's a very it's mom's heart.
I'm gonna cry again. I wish I could quit crying.
Part of the reason they give you fluids is so that you got some tears to give.
That's why I keep using the bathroom all the time.
What are your tears about right now?
I just miss my kids, and I wish they were here. And I don't want to be sick for them. I want to be strong for them when they can't be. And I don't know. I'm just being a crybaby, I guess.
Give yourself some grace. Because if somebody else were in the same position, you would encourage and embrace and love them through it, right?
That's true.
You have the same permission.
When I was growing up, crying was like a sign of weakness. You don't cry. So when I cry, it's like I get mad at myself because I'm not being strong then. I am not strong, like violent strong.
Sure.
But mentally strong.
Sure.
I'm usually pretty mentally strong. It takes a lot to make me cry.
So sound like crying in front of somebody, or crying at all, but especially in front of somebody, that's very vulnerable.
Yes, it is.
To show our vulnerabilities to others takes immense strength. And I think a lot of times we don't think about it that way. We think of it as being like, oh, I'm broken now. But the reality is that you wouldn't just go out and cry in front of anybody.
No.
In fact, if you were up to you, you probably wouldn't cry in front of anyone.
That's
But
true.
there's a very small circle that you let into that.
Yep.
That requires immense strength. So I would argue that allowing yourself to have those tears is probably one of the strongest things you can do.
Maybe.
I know you don't agree with that. And that is a lifetime that has probably never said that. But I can tell you that
I usually go cry in the bathroom or in my car.
on your space.
Alone.
There's this, from a processing standpoint, right, that we can only hold one emotion for a maximum of 20 minutes. That's sort of a universal piece for humanity, right? When you have an emotion, you're going to hit that. You can only hold it for about 20 minutes, and then it's going to change.
Yeah.
It's either going to get better or worse, or something's going to happen, right? But you can only stay in that spot a max of 20 minutes, okay?
Except for when my kids left. That was like a 2-year thing.
But even within that, there was variations, right?
Yeah.
Like it'd be bad, and then it would get worse, and then worse, and then you probably have moments where it backed off.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you won't continue to revisit. So fighting an emotion to keep it away, we can spend days, weeks, and months trying to keep it at bay. If you give into it and you just allow it to happen, a max of 20 minutes, and then something's going to happen, right? It's going to move into a different space.
Yeah.
But that goes a lot with giving yourself permission to be. And I think that's probably one of the hardest parts of this.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just think that I just don't want to freak anybody out. I don't know if that makes sense, but I mean, I know what I'm getting ready to do, you know? It's just, I feel bad for him and I feel bad for my kids.
what do you mean freak them out?
Like, I don't want them to think, you know, oh my gosh, mom's, you know, if I like,
Inconvenience anybody, it bugs her.
that's true.
She always tells people, I don't mean to inconvenience you. I'm like, that's what they're there for, to help you. You know, like.
But I also don't want them to, you know, carry my burden, you know, like, I don't want them to feel like, and usually I wouldn't be saying this in front of him. I just don't want them to be upset or cry or feel sad or, you know,
Sure.
I just want them to be like, oh, she'll be fine, you know, but
Sure.
deep down inside, that's not how I'm feeling.
Yeah, no, I say that's kind of a conflicting thing because you made the comment before that you wish your kids were here.
Yeah,
And where you are is a place that's sad.
yeah,
So even though you don't want them to be here, you want them to be
yeah.
here.
I want them to be home when I get there,
Yeah.
but they're not. But that we can FaceTime, so
Sure.
not the thing, but
No.
and they know because he told them because I wasn't going to
Right.
until I found out what was happening, but he told them. We're pretty much up front with them, but I'm very sensitive to my kids. My kids is the one way that I will break.
Yeah.
Any other thing I'm not going to break, but if it's my kids,
Why do
I'll
you
break.
think that? Why do you think that is? What about that is just so different?
I don't know. I just love them so much. I don't want them to be. I'm not crying for me. I guess I'm crying for them because I know it's hard on them. Like they can.
Oh man.
You were fun. I know you.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's you try not to be selfish. Like like we want our kids to be successful, but if you don't watch it, parents, you don't let your kids grow or be.
That's why I don't tell them much, because
We
I don't
don't
want
tell
them to
them,
feel
yeah.
like, oh my gosh, we got to get out of here. We got to come straight home. We can't go and have our own careers.
Right.
They would have stayed on the farm just to take care of my mom and my dad, because we got
Right.
50 acres. But I told them this is our dream.
And my son, who's married, he's got enough of his own problems.
Yeah. So I told them this is
They
our
don't
dream.
want to
You guys
add
go,
to
yeah.
it.
Right.
So
And they're getting ready to be deployed into, to Iraq. And
Korea and stuff.
Right.
I don't know, it's just a lot.
It sounds very overwhelming. Hey.
Your med's going, okay?
Yeah.
What are your
They've never went without, so when they went on their own, it was like a shocker for them, because we protected them from a lot of stuff.
Sure.
And that's because we had to take infertility medicines, and they were artificially inseminated. But I've worked so that they can have a better life of childhood than I did. So, and I think that everybody does that, I guess.
It's part of the goal of parenting.
Yeah.
You always want more for your kids than what you do.
Yes. And I think that's my breaking point, is my children.
Yeah.
Our children, I should say.
Well, I've seen a thing recently.
I cooked them.
I read a thing where it made sense, because people, when you have kids, you think that they're yours. They're not really yours. I mean, you give them life, but when they're 18, they do what they want. And people get there where they think they're their property, and they're not. You guide them and try to do the best thing. And there's no book. They're all different. But that's why I think ours will turn out to be good men.
Absolutely. So if
All
they're-
of them,
if-
all three.
If they're not yours, whose are they?
Yeah.
I mean,
But yeah, he's but they all got good hearts, and they're all totally different though.
absolutely. Yes, this is scary. And it's also new territory. And you're not in control.
That's a big one.
What, at this point, what do you have control over?
How I react to everything. That's the only thing I have control over.
Yeah. Put it on this.
Is my own reactions.
That's not, I mean, even though that's clearly always been true, they're about to ask you their favorite question.
What's my name? What's my birthday?
Yes. And it's with all your medicines, we're gonna have 2 nurses in here every time checking and verifying. Okay. So it's not abnormal for you. That's just what we do for everybody to make sure we're giving you the right stuff.
Because,
Okay.
Everything. Okay. So go ahead and tell me your name and your birthday.
Because she always gets to the name
This
so
is going
much,
to go
but the
over
thing is
30
that
minutes.
it's keeping her moving.
Okay. And filter is on.
People already.
All right. So we're gonna connect you right here. You're
You're
nervous. You're nervous. So we were just gonna tell you.
That is completely normal.
Yep.
The anxiety, because you're like, oh my God, what are you about to give me? That is completely normal. Okay.
Let them people need
But
to
you
let
just
you
let
take
us
care of yourself
know.
now.
I'm not
But
expecting
the video, I
anything
think
with
it's
the
helping.
Keytruda.
Okay.
I knew in my back
Alright.
I'm slow.
But this is
I used
new
to-
to
on my
you.
farm I got
And I know that
I could
anxiety
cheat.
is
I kept
just.
that
So we're gonna get you through today. So the next time you come in, you're gonna be like,
Pro. Yeah.
I already know what I'm doing.
I can't walk the 2 big ones. She has to walk up the 2 big ones.
He's gonna do that
I
today
know.
to us again.
I did this to everybody yesterday.
But we got 50 acres and
I didn't even see any, so
You're
fine.
You're fine.
No, it's fine.
You're okay.
I'm just opening your ceiling. It'll flush it back through, and then we'll see if we can get your air.
The pumps are very sensitive.
I don't see it, so I don't know why it's being mean. Is it right in our?
Alright, let's try it now. Of course, we don't want to. So the pumps are very sensitive. The most tiniest air bubble.
You might need to just flush it, or I
would
don't
just
see
flush.
anything. Yeah, because I don't even see it either.
This is all better than you experienced.
Oh, right tiny little bit right there.
Yeah.
Which it's on there, so I don't know if
Yeah.
we can pull it through.
You guys can go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't want to make her more nervous than
We're
she
not
is
making you
already.
nervous. This is literally just our setup. Like, it's nothing to do with you. It's nothing.
See these?
They are tiniest little sensitivity. If they, like, when they prime it through and filter it, there's the tiniest little thing, our pumps will be, like, yelling at us.
I seen that. I thought, is that?
It's fine. They just yell at us and they're like, please get this.
So what we do is flick them to make them tinier.
Go up into there and then they go right through. And we're fine with it.
Because we have all these filters. Now this will get flushed through.
Because it's already, see how it already flushed it through on this, so that'll flush
Yeah.
through when that bed goes through.
Oh, okay.
And now it's happy with us.
It did this to everybody yesterday. Let's see. But what it does, it makes everybody nervous. We're over here like, shut
Oh yeah,
up.
but it gives out that air hole.
Stop
pulse.
warning. Yes.
It just
There's
goes down.
filters.
There's
all
filters
the
through this, and
lines.
this is a filter on here too. And so once that starts going through, it'll flush that back through.
Yeah.
So you're good.
All
Can I
right.
get you anything?
We're rocking.
You're going. It's not yelling at us, so you're good. We'll be back in a little bit, okay?
Okay. Is this the 30 minutes you said?
This is the 30-minute one, yep. And we'll check your vital signs afterwards. And like I said, we'll run this big back through just to kind of flush it through. And then we'll start, hopefully the next one will be out, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. I didn't see, did they drop off everything or
Yeah,
just
there's
that?
another lady came in.
Okay.
Which
Which we like, because that means that it's, okay, perfect. Your next one's here, so.
Get a little bit of everything.
Yeah, you know, I tried to
you
do
going.
index on my
I wanted
my
to show
dad's
you
been
how
around
like
a while
there's
since
that
he was,
filter
for
here.
60-some years,
Okay,
so, you
so
know,
that's what all of it.
and he let her go.
I'm just wondering if we should
You know,
push
Flush
some
some
of
of it. I
it.
was
deal with
thinking.
that, and then,
But I see it
you know, I
moving,
told
so
her,
it didn't
she's
hit the
always like,
filter.
"You need to put her on."
Your port is
You know,
working
so
good, girl,
they-
because
they
it came back
dial
that
it.
fast,
Get
like
that, but
switching over
on
from
my
stopping
back
to
sometimes,
stopping,
on
so
my
your
back
port
to
was
push
like
myself.
ready
Not
to
gonna
go.
plot up on us.
No, it was good, girl.
He said he did a good job on it.
I
He was happy
mean,
with
it came back fast.
Who did it?
I can't do that anymore.
I don't know,
Is it
but
Gunther?
we,
I'm just gonna put it like on the
Slow drip to help it push it through.
Putting
Yeah.
scenery on
even when he was putting the port in, I can remember him joking around.
Joking around. I love that.
We'll have to look it up.
I know.
He was super good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said he told
We
the
love
nurses.
because we always try to give the good like
We go
recommendations.
all year, but I've been
Oh
trying
my
to
gosh,
watch
he was
her
good.
Okay.
And he even told the
She wanted to
nurses,
go-
he
we
said,
went, like,
now,
she
you
went
see this
5 times a
picture?
day.
If you're
After
not
the
good to
fall,
her,
she had
all
one
she's got to
sore.
say
I've
is,
been-
Yes.
and they were cracking
That's
up.
hilarious.
I know.
Even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by if you smile through your fears and sorrow. Smile. And maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through for you. Light up your face with gladness.
Hide every trace of sadness. Although a tear may be ever so near, that's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. of time, you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile.
If you just smile.